Hello, dear ones. If you are new to my Making It in Maine channel, I'm Suzanne, and if you are a returner, bless your hearts for visiting me again. It's been a wee bit since I was here, and it's not because I didn't want to be, it's because I have had some very bizarre thing crop up with my body. I woke up one night over a week ago with severe pain in my left ankle. When I first woke up in the middle of the night, it was uncomfortable, and it got increasingly uncomfortable to the point of it being excruciating. I couldn't step on it. I couldn't put weight on it. It was swollen. It was red. Yeah, and the pain was just relentless. And I don't take over-the-counter pain medications. I'd rather endure some pain rather than destroy my gut microbiome. That's just me. We're all different. We all make various choices for whatever reason. But things were not getting better, so I ended up going to a convenient MD place, an urgent care place, thinking that maybe I should get an x-ray. Yeah, I sprained my ankle 2 years ago. That was the first time I had ever sprained my ankle. And so I thought, well, maybe something's wrong that an x-ray will pick up. And I'm not one who likes getting x-rays done either. Don't care to have the radiation in my body. But anyway, that x-ray didn't show anything out of the ordinary, and they wanted me to follow up at the ER to rule out a blood clot or gout. So off I went, and the ER triage doctor sent me home without doing any further testing, said it wasn't warranted. And my discharge from the ER said I had a sprain. Well, I hadn't done anything to cause a sprain because I hadn't felt well for a few days. Another bizarre occurrence, I had a weird vertigo-like episode. I've never had vertigo before. So I hadn't been feeling well for a few days and hadn't been, motoring around or hadn't left the house, hadn't been doing anything like that. So everything that's going on right now is a mystery. I haven't been able to, the pain has decreased a lot. I don't have any intense pain anymore, but I have aching up my leg. I made a second trip to the ER the following day. They actually did some testing. Anyway, blah-de-blah. My mobility is still limited. I can at least step on my heel without pain. So I can go a short distance using my heel. But if I try to step down on the rest of that foot, I have prickly, needly feeling, so I don't step on it because it's uncomfortable. I went to my naturopath, and they wanted me to have more blood work done. 6 more tests, one of which was to check for Lyme, because Lyme can present in very mysterious ways. So anyway, waiting for all test results to come in, and my naturopath also wanted an ultrasound done, which the second trip to the ER, they did a CT scan from my knee down that didn't show anything significant. And my naturopath was quite shocked that they did not do an ultrasound there. Any hooty doodly do. I am waiting to get scheduled for ultrasound. Given all of that, I haven't been up in my sewing room to work on my little, what is it? Was it posies? No, not posies in the basket. Yo-yos in the basket. I haven't been upstairs in my sewing room to work on that sweet little pink and brown yo-yos in the baskets quilt. It's calling out to me, but I can't get to you right now, sweet little quilt. I can't. Yeah, the ER visit, the second ER visit, I was there for at least 5 hours. And thankfully, I took some knitting with me. And I took some reading material. In the last few days, that's pretty much what I've been doing. Reading and knitting. And, excuse me, I'm just moving this back a little bit. I've been mainly knitting and reading. And I'm almost done with my daughter's sweater. I don't think I have shown that. I started to do a video about it, and I don't think I showed any more. Maybe I put a picture or something short about it in a previous video. I don't know. If you're new to my channel, you can go back and look at, I think it was episode 70, probably my last video, if you want to see the little pink yo-yos in the baskets quilt that I'm in the process of. And if you want to see my other sweet little pink and brown quilts, go back even further. Do a search on my channel for pink and brown or miniature quilts or reproduction quilts. I think it was maybe episode number 3. You'll see lots of my little reproduction quilts. But let me show you, let me show you something I've been able to do, and that's the progress on my granddaughter's sweater. All I have left to do is sew up the arm sleeves, because this was a top-down knitted sweater. So there it is. I just have to sew up the sleeves. I did get a wee start. My needle is there. But anyway, there it is. Let's see. Yeah, there are the buttonholes. Anyway, there it is. I like that little detail at the arm. I've never done just an all garter stitch project before, so this was new to me, but I think she lost a pink sweater, a pink button-up sweater, so I wanted to get something made as quickly as I could. So that's that. And I had picked out some sweet buttons to go on this, and they had been in the bottom of my knitting bag. This is the knitting bag, the bag that I've been toting around with my current projects in. And so this little parcel of buttons was in that bag, and I guess just me plopping it up and down broke some of these sweet little buttons. And I guess I'm actually glad that it happened in my bag, because, you know, if my granddaughter's sweater got tossed on the floor or fell on the floor, the buttons could have broken, and that would have been sad, because I wouldn't have been there to replace them, because they live a air flight distance away from me. Here are the buttons. I don't know if you can see. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm not gonna see that way. Let me do it this way. Okay, there they are. They're, oh, what is that? That sort of pearly, pearly mother of pearl sort of look on one side of the button, and then the other side is just not pearly. They're a very pale pink. And so yes, here is just one piece of the broken button. One piece of the broken button. Yeah. Another piece of the broken button. So several broken buttons. Very sad, but like I said, I'm glad it happened now instead of later. But I think they would have looked sweet on the sweater. I looked back in a previous video I had done and found this. So this shows you how those sweet little buttons would have looked on the sweater. And you can also see the sweater pattern in case you're a knitter and would like to make one for some sweet little person in your life. I don't know what button I will end up with, but if you're interested, I will report back. That's the story of what I've been working on lately. And because my mobility is limited right now, I got a stack of old Better Homes and Gardens American Patchwork and Quilting magazines. I've got a stack like that, an old stack. I stopped subscribing at one point just because, my goodness, how many quilt patterns do you need? And, you know, the subscription costs money, so I figured I would stop for a while. And anyway, since I can't get up and down the stairs, well, right now, I thought I would just look through some of my old magazines. And since pink and brown is what I'm up to currently, I saw this quilt in this particular issue. This is let's see, August 2008. And this quilt is called Peppermint Patty. But the thing I loved, oops, hold on, hospital is calling to schedule. As I was saying, one of the things I thought was so neat about this Peppermint Patty quilt was on, not so much about the quilt, but the article on the following page. The designer had this to say. Let me just cover up some of this, and then I'll show you. She says, one of my all-time favorite color combinations is pink and brown. Yes, hello, that's me. I love pink and brown together, one of my favorites. Another favorite is purple and green. And I was thinking the other day, I was looking at a quilt that is so close to being done, and it's just redonky-donk as to why I have not finished it yet, because it's been this close for years. Just need the border quilted and the binding put on, and it's like, I'm just gonna put the binding on, and if I quilt, the border isn't even that wide. So if I quilt in it, fine. If I don't, fine. But at least I'm going to get the binding on it. Anyway, pink and brown, purple and green. Those are a couple of my very favorites. Anyway, the other neat thing that I thought the designer did on this quilt was she purposely turned this block the other way. You see how all the other little squares are brown? She turned this one around so that it was pink. And she said about that, just for fun, the designers purposely, well, I guess she didn't say it, the person commenting about it said, the designer purposely rotated a block just for fun. So I thought that was kind of cool. Anywho, that's that. I don't have much to say today, but I just wanted you to know that I haven't disappeared for 5 or 6 months, that there won't be that big of a span unless things really go south. Yeah, there won't be such a big span going forward, I pray. Yes, and the other thing I thought I could do while my mobility is limited is to start quilting on this. And I started marking my quilting lines on it a little while ago with a friction pen, and I was marking 1/2 inch distance away from the applique shape. And as I was doing it, I thought, oh, that's a lot. And I think I went that far away because the last thing I was echo quilting around, I was going way too close with all of those echoes. And so I think maybe I've gone to the opposite extreme. Anyway, I think rather than doing a 1/2 inch away, yeah, because that would be a 1/2 inch. And that seems like too much. So I think what I'm going to do, is just go maybe like 1/8 of an inch around the outside, and then I don't know how far they'll be apart after that, but I want to go fairly close to each shape first, and then I'll decide how far to echo from there. But in case you're new to the channel, this is a table runner. that I pieced, I don't know, a year or two ago. I've had, or maybe a little longer, I've had this pattern and these fabrics for several years, and just decided that it was time to get it rolling. Yeah, I feel like I need to get better about finishing some of my older unfinished projects, my UFOs. Yeah, instead of having them UFOs, get them into the WIP stage, the works in progress stage again, and get them finished. That's the plan. I think that's going to be a wrap today. I've been tired from hopping around and tired from disrupted sleep because of pain and or discomfort. Yes, there you have it. Hope I didn't bore you with all of this mysterious body stuff going on, but I wanted you to know that I'm not leaving you in the lurch. And maybe some of you aren't, super regular with me. I don't know. But I appreciate you if you are a regular and come back often to watch my videos. I'm very grateful for you. And if you are new, I hope you come back again. So until next time, dear ones, from my heart to yours, bye for now.